All right, good evening, everybody, and happy December. It is episode 12 of the Whiskey Six, and we made it a full year. In spite of the haters, we made it a full year. No, I'm just kidding. But it's been an awesome time, a great year with a great bunch of guys, and we're going to bring you our year in review tonight. All of the superlatives for the year, our surprises, our disappointments, and then our best whiskey of the year. And we might talk about some other stuff, some news stories. I know Sean's got one he really wants to talk about. It's his story of the year. So we're going to have a good time tonight. Thank you all who are here for tuning in. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you for watching. We appreciate you. And let's just get going here. We're going to bring in first Myron from the Bourbon Drop. Myron, how are you tonight, sir?
Oh, I'm not bad, Brian. What's going on, man?
I'm doing well, man. What are you drinking anything tonight?
I'm starting off with looks like Goose Island, Bourbon County 2024. I mean, this thing for the people out there looking, man, that looks like coffee. Like, look how dark that is. So if you like
it's some mud.
Yeah, and it's good. It's sweet, milky, creamy. That thing is. I love a dark, creamy, like stout like that. Man.
Yep. We just did the winter whiskey, the New Riff winter whiskey that has a lot of stout flavors in it. And I was saying to Lauren, like, if I drink a beer, I drink a stout or a porter. So like that was right up my alley. Those are like recently released, right? Those Goose Islands.
This one says this is just the original stout. It's the 2024. One of my local stores has them. He had got them in a couple months ago, and he like puts them out periodically.
Yeah.
And I walked into a store the other day, and it's not you're not buying a 6-pack one, and you're definitely not drinking a 6-pack two. These things are thick. Like I've had it open for 3 days. This is my last third.
Oh boy! So you're not even drinking a bottle at a time.
I did it the first time I got one, and I paid for it. Like my stomach was full.
Damn. All right. I'll have to be on the lookout for those. I would love to try that. All right. Who we got next? Producer? Sean from Whiskey Wars. Resident cowboy and Grinch. Sean.
Indeed. Yeah, that's right. Christmas is dumb. Anyway, I can't cheers anybody yet because I don't have anything glass, but cheers anyway, people.
All right. Cheers
to
you, Sean.
Superstitions anyway, so.
Oh, of course. Cheersing, Christmas, whatever
other nonsense. Yeah.
Right on. All right. Who we got next? Ben from the Bourbon Note. How's it going, Ben?
Good. How are you guys all doing?
Doing well. Doing well. How is the weather in Minnesota? You are the one that I would say is probably the most like simpatico with me because we had like almost 4 feet of snow last week, and we're expecting between tonight and Friday another 2 feet.
Oh, see, we don't have any snow yet, which is a little odd. Last year we had basically a snowless Christmas or a snowless winter aside from maybe like a week or two. It was weird. I've never seen anything like it. Like the lakes never froze, which is wild. Like I've never seen that happen before. But today it was cold as balls. The wind was blowing, and it was just awful to be outside. And so you guys get that lake effect snow where you're at, though. So we maybe don't get the accumulation you guys do, but we get just terrible, terrible cold temperatures.
Yeah.
I mean, we still get, in an average winter, we still get pretty bad snowfall. But, yeah, it's getting to that time of year. We never got any 30 below zero days last winter, so that was nice. Those are always fun.
That's rough stuff, 30 below. Holy cow. All right. And last but not least, Bobby from Bad Axe Bourbon. What is happening, Bobby? He's got a bang on the desk.
Imagine.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
That's all you're getting.
Yeah, that's all right. Bobby, what are you drinking tonight?
Well, probably, like I said, probably a bubbly soon. That's it. I might go hardcore and go Rockstar. I don't know. Maybe
okay. All right. Whoa, take it easy with that stuff. Take it easy.
I know. I got to hold back.
Yeah.
Honestly, whiskey's probably better for you than Rockstar.
For real.
That's poison, right?
Yeah,
Isn't it just...
At least it's natural ingredients.
It just rots you from the inside.
There you go.
Or less.
All right. Well, Well, guys, first of all, thank you all for being a part of this for the last 12 episodes. I love that we get to do this every month and have this little team. I hope you guys are having as much fun as I am. I hope the people who watch are having as much fun as we are. I think it's a blast. This is exactly what I wanted it to be. Maybe with like 800 more subscribers, but that's okay.
Yeah.
We'll work on it. We hopefully have some things cooking that'll bring the subscribers, but we'll see.
Hit the like button, folks.
Yeah. Hit that like, guys. If you're not subscribed to the Whiskey Six, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it. And subscribe. I know. I see Brian. First the Dodgers, now the Flyers. Pats, Steelers, Cowboys. No, but actually, you're going to shake your head at this one too, Kevin. I'm a 49ers fan. So last week was a rough one because we got our asses handed to us by the Bills. But yeah,
Totally
that's
redeemed yourself.
yeah. But yeah, I know. Bobby, what do you think about the 49ers?
I hate the 49ers, but if you're a true Raider fan, you don't like anyone in your division, and you hate the 49ers too.
Yes.
It's hard though because I like most of their players, so it's really tough. I can root for the players. I like them to do well, but I don't want them to win. So it's really this weird dichotomy.
It's a conundrum. That's a conundrum for sure.
It's a conundrum.
Hey, don't take whatever Bobby says with a grain of salt. He is a Raiders fan, so.
Well, Raiders don't even know where they live anymore. They're confused.
Okay, so like we said, this is going to be our year in review. This is our 12th episode. It also happens to fall at the end of the year in December. So we thought it'd be a good idea to kind of talk about the year in review in whiskey and some other stuff as well, because we're going to talk a little bit about some news stories that we really thought were kind of the craziest or more interesting or compelling news stories of the year, pop culture stories, whatever you might be. And we're going to sprinkle that in as we go through talking about whiskey. So let's go ahead and get started with some whiskey picks. So we have a few different categories, and for first, let's talk about your most disappointing whiskey of the year. So this is a whiskey, maybe it didn't live up to the hype that was out there in the whiskey tubes and in the whiskey world, or it could just be personally for you. You were really looking forward to it. It was something you couldn't wait to come out because it's a favorite distillery of yours, or just maybe a favorite finish, or whatever it might be. But what is a whiskey that you would call your most disappointing bottle of the year? We're going to start with Bobby.
Disappointing?
Yeah.
Pull up.
Uh-oh.
I got
The audio.
Sorry about that.
All right. No problem.
Disappointing this year.
Yeah.
I looked at this earlier. There was one that I'm sure there has been a couple. And as soon as we start talking about more, I'm sure one will just kind of jump out at me.
Okay.
But
do you want us to come back to you?
Anything that says I don't know, anything most stuff Jack Daniels is it's not even disappointing because I normally just don't like it.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not really disappointed by it. What's disappointing is anything Jack Daniels under 120 proof. That's probably it.
Okay. So you
bottle, then it just sucks.
I was just going to say, you are not lumping in the barrel proofs with that, right?
No. See, I have two. I say 120 and up. I generally like it all at Jack Daniels. Mm-hmm. So there's two. I would say there's two exceptions for me, case by case. At around 90 proof, it's like 92 or 3 proof is the barrel selects once in a while are actually pretty good. And the Sinatra Select is I actually like that one too, but I think that's got to do with the grooves in the barrels. It gets a little bit different take.
Yeah.
So those are my two exceptions under 120 proof for Jack Daniels.
All right, so none of those, like the bonded rye, the triple mash.
It's just too much of that Lincoln County process, cold mellowing, and same with Uncle Nearest for me. It's the same. It just has that same just nasty funk. Although I haven't had the rye, I haven't had the Uncle Nearest rye, and I haven't had the single barrel. But after my two previous experiences with it, I wasn't really looking forward to either one of them. And I have both those other bottles, and I got about this much out of them.
Yeah.
The white label and the black label. And
You know what though? I'm kind of with you. I think as I've had more, I don't disagree with you because initially I liked like the JD bonded and the triple mash and even the single barrel with the black label. And now I don't even look at them now. Like I think they're just kind of like meh, whatever. So I think I'm with you. Does anybody want to make? Yeah. Does anybody want to make the case against Bobby? Does anybody love those bottles so hard that they have to call out Bobby right now?
Me and Bobby are on the exact same page. We've talked about this. If it's not in that bottle that I showed you, I don't care about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
I'll say this, Bobby. So I am not a fan of Uncle Nearest, just the regular stuff that they put out, except for the rye. Now the rye is actually pretty good.
I want to have it.
If you notice the rye, I mean, because they source everything, they're starting to incorporate more of their stuff into what they put out. But they actually, and this is another thing I found out because I did an Uncle Nearest review, is that they actually changed the blend up throughout the year too. I didn't know that. So until I started reading up on them.
Well, maybe that's why it starts sucking.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this, Bobby. I have not found a bottle of Uncle Nearest that I like except for the rye. And then I went to a store that had a single barrel and they had it open and they were, giving out samples.
Okay.
And I was blown away. And everybody kept telling me, get the single barrel.
That's what I'm hearing the same thing. I'm like, I tell you right now, I'm not going to go buy it because those first two, I bought them both at the same time. And I'm like, wow, this one's not that good. And then the next one I go, oh, this one's a little better. The 1856. So this one's better, but it's still really not that good.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I heard the rye is decent. I haven't had it. And I keep hearing the same thing. Hey, go grab a single barrel. You're going to love it. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to go buy it, but if I can find it, I'll try it.
Rye is a Source 95.5, I think, from New York. I got to look on the back of the bottle.
Oh, well, that's kind of cheating.
Yeah.
I feel like it might be.
We had the same thing about JD.
Yeah. We had a great Uncle Nearest at a bottle share with Brian Fisher from Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts. Somebody brought an Uncle Nearest, and I am not an Uncle Nearest fan. That Uncle Nearest was incredible. Like it was one of we had like 15 bottles and it was like one of the top 3 or 4. Brian is in the chat. Maybe he would know better where it was from or what exactly it was, but it was great. So Stymie Thirdly, disappointing for me is Blue Note Juke Joint. To be fair, it was not the Uncut Unfiltered. Listen, Stymie, all you're going to be is more disappointed if you get the Uncut Unfiltered because you think it's supposed to be better because it's higher proof and it's just not. So
it costs more, so it makes it even worse.
Yeah, right.
I got 3 about half full you could have if you want.
Yeah. All the people out there that said snickerdoodle my ass.
Hey, you know what? What sucks is I like the Uncle Nearest story and all that.
Brian.
I mean, get better whiskey. Make better whiskey.
Yeah. What did you say, Myron?
I said Blue Note's got something for you. I had to shoot you the bird real quick.
I'm
a Blue Note fan.
Yeah. All right, who's up next, Marianne?
Ben.
Ben, you are up next. So disappointing bottle you got this year. Didn't live up to the hype, or maybe just personally it didn't hit for you. Then maybe it was something you were real excited to get.
All right, so as I told you guys backstage, I do have to preface this with our whiskey categories tonight are basically the video I posted tonight that's coming out tomorrow. and you know how it is when you get like one of these lists and it's hard to pick, just to settle on just one. So this is a good opportunity. I'm going to do my alternate list tonight.
Perfect.
And my list tomorrow actually has 6 different categories, but all 3 of tonight's categories are on there. Okay. By the way, you're all tagged in it. So is Buffalo Bourbon Enthusiasts.
All right.
So it's a challenge as well. It's kind of a year-end challenge of different categories.
Right.
But
right on.
So tomorrow's video will have the alternate answers, but this is a great opportunity to kind of feature the bottles that didn't quite make the cut for tomorrow's video. So this one is one of those ones that kind of more just didn't live up to maybe expectations. It's a good bottle. But bam, Heaven Hill Grain to Glass Rye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
Is that the wheated? Which one is that?
That's the rye.
Oh, rye.
No,
you
the
said
rye.
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The wheat's really good, actually.
Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. So this one was like in my review of it, I liked it, but I was just kind of like, I don't know. The MSRP is like $115 or something like that. Like I got it at Sam's Club for $100. And it's just one of those ones where it's like I love Heaven Hill products, and so I was super looking forward to these, and then they were kind of a little bit allocated, and then they're high priced, and I don't know. At the end of the day, it's a good, I think it's like 7 years or something like that, 123 proof. It's definitely a good bourbon. I mean, good whiskey, good rye whiskey. But it just, yeah, like I said, it's just, I don't know, seemed like there was some hype. Interestingly enough, this is one of the few ryes that I actually get a pretty prominent mint note on, which I actually do like. I think it's interesting and unique for me. I don't usually get that. So in that regard, I like it, and it's a perfectly nice whiskey. It's just overpriced, and I'm starting to see these sitting on the shelves now. They're showing up, and people, I think, are just not wanting to pay $115, $120 MSRP for this, and I don't think you should.
And that's kind of where I'm at, because with the exception of the Elijah Craig line, Heaven Hill doesn't really hit for me, and so I am not willing to drop the 120 on something I'm not sure about, especially because like your reviews kind of meh, and the reviews have kind of been mixed across the board on those. People haven't really, I haven't seen anybody who's like, I love this bottle, although I know Brian Fisher liked the Weeder for sure.
I don't think that
the Weeders are good.
The Weeder's good.
Yeah,
I keep hearing a lot of people say that the Weeders, like the Weeder is the best out of all three.
yeah, that's
Okay.
what Brian just said too. Yeah,
I did recently see all three of these on the shelf. So, but I can't bring myself to shell out the money again. And I don't think I dislike this quite as much as some of the reviews I saw. But disappointing doesn't always mean a bad bottle. And I want to preface that for anybody who watches my video tomorrow. I accidentally didn't put my my most disappointing as my last category, because that's definitely when people are going to shut the video off and unsubscribe. I believe I committed a cardinal sin in this video, and I'm going to get hate mail.
No, I think, but you're right. It doesn't mean it's a bad bottle. It just didn't hit for you, so or didn't live up to your expectations. All right, Sean, you're up, brother. What do you got? Most disappointing bottle?
I got two, and now I finally get to drink, even though we're starting with disappointing. But nonetheless, both the bourbon and the rye of 13th Colony, the standard release. This is not the double oak.
Okay.
But there was a lot of hype around the whole brand kind of early in the year.
Yeah.
Since a lot of things have happened, that now maybe shines a different light on 13th Colony, but nonetheless,
right.
I don't know. These were like $40-$45. Also, shit corks. So on top of, so you have to do this to even drink it. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Mine is held up, I think. Hold on. Let's see. Yep. Mine is held up.
Yeah. Just really weak ass glue. I mean, you can see there's just like hardly no glue in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, but then also, what I would say is something like a $20 bourbon inside a $40-$45 bottle.
Wow.
Yeah, I would say if you put this in a flight with like GTS Brown, Heaven Hill White Label, let's see, Benchmark Single Barrel, I bet it would lose to all of those.
Yeah.
Wow. I think it's incredibly mediocre and forgettable.
Wow.
So I mean, it's not bad whiskey necessarily. It's just I don't care about it at all.
Okay.
And then the other one, which this was really, really disappointing, because this was a bottle I'd wanted for a long time, and I finally got one, and it's kind of whatever. This guy right here. This is the Barrel Proof Rye.
Yeah.
And by the time I got this, I had 3 Jack Daniels Barrel Proof Ryes, and I now have 4 Jack Daniels, and this is worse than all 4 of my Jack Daniels.
Oh boy.
It's my least favorite rye from the Brown Forman parent company. So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got it at a good price. I paid like $100 for it, so
sure.
It wasn't terrible, but still disappointing. I don't know. Yeah. Oh well.
All right. Okay. Myron.
Disappointing for me was, I don't know if you guys know too much about these bottles. This is the Virginia Distilling Company. They have VHW. It used to say Virginia Highland Distilling, but it's like a Ministry of Whiskey from Scotland. They made them take that off of there because they were like, you're referring to Highland and you can't do that. Just the same way that we did with Crown Royal when they said bourbon mash, and we made them take it off. But
Okay.
anyway, I'm a big fan of this port finished, this VHW port finished. What they do is they source single malt from Ireland, and then they bring it over, mix it with their Virginia single malt. They blend it, and then they finish it in the port cask, and they bottle it at 92 proof. Yeah, this one's 92. So I'm a big fan of this. So I go into the Virginia AGC one day, and I was like, wow, that looks different. And it's purple label, and I go up to it, and it's cask strength. So I'm thinking, oh, man, cask strength, it has to be a monster because, like, I love the 92 proof. So I get it home. I cracked it open, man. It was like drinking Welch's jelly in a glass. That's what it was like.
Ooh.
Yeah. It was bad. I was very, very disappointed. And I'm kind of like you, Ben. This is going to be on my list. My list will probably be coming out later in the month, but I was very disappointed. Another bottle was that Bardstown High Wheat.
Oh, you didn't like that, huh?
Oh, I've been looking for that one.
Yeah, I should send you a sample, and Ben, I didn't like it. And Sean, if you don't like your 13th Colony Sour Mash Rye, mix it with 50-50 blend of Knob Creek, and tell me what you think.
Which
I
Knob?
thought that was
Which
Like
Knob?
Knob Creek 9?
Yeah, just Knob Creek 9. I mixed mine with an older Knob Creek 9 age stated, but you can mix it with a Knob Creek 9 and just see how it turns out for you. I thought it was one hell of a blend.
Okay, it's gonna make it like a boo rye kind of thing. Okay, yeah.
You said that for the rye, right? Not the bourbon.
Yeah, I like both of them on their own, but I'm just saying if
Okay.
Sean needs to get it down.
Yeah.
You choke that down.
I got
All right.
as you can see, quite a. I don't know if the camera's picking up the level of dust there, but got a lot of the rye left. Quite a bit of. Basically, it's full.
Wow. Holy smokes. All right. So mine, I don't think this will come as a surprise because I am like the I guess resident Weller hater. I will say this though. I just got a 107 and I think it's phenomenal. I really do like the Antique 107. I think it's very good. It's one of the first Buffalo Traces that I get the cherry note off of, and I really enjoy it, which I thought I wouldn't. But
I get like a bit of a cherry cola sort of note off of that. I love 107. It's one of my favorite. I would have that on the shelf every day if that was available.
If you could get it. Yeah, exactly.
Ryan, I've long said that 107 is the best of the line. And I still think that's true.
Absolutely.
A good pick of that, I think, is the best one.
So mine is the CYPB. I got this at 2 raffles ago at my local shop, $75. And I was like real excited about that because, it goes for hundreds in some places because it's hard to get a hold of. And it's kind of like suffers from what all the other Wellers that I don't like is it's too low proof and it's just too mellow. That's just so nondescript. I was really very disappointed in this. And it's funny because I had a sample of it actually at Brian Fisher's place like the week before. And I was like, ooh, this is nice. It's fine. It's like very pleasant to drink, but man, for the hype that's behind this bottle and the prices that people pay for this bottle, I was expecting it to be lightning in a bottle. And I was like, just so let down. Most of this that's gone, Lauren and Marianne did a review. I tried it a couple times when I first got it, and then I've sampled a bunch out. Actually, Ben's got a sample coming. So, but yeah, the CYPB was not great. If any of you guys have not tried it and want to try it, I'll be happy to send you a sample. It's very average bourbon in my opinion. So that's
I thought it was a perfect bourbon.
That's the advertising. Maybe we should start a class action lawsuit.
It may be your perfect bourbon.
Right.
Well,
it doesn't say it's not CMYP. Or wait, CMPB. Create
they just have to find the one Y that's out there that this is perfect for. I am not that guy.
Well, Brian,
they had it. It's called Antique 107.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What were you
Yeah.
saying, Sean?
Brian, I will say I have not tried it. It's the only Weller I've not tried. But here's the thing: I don't even care to try it, so don't even
Okay.
waste the sample on it.
It's very milk toast, very bland, very blah. I don't. You probably wouldn't even finish the sample. The stuff
I
you
would-
drink, it's not even close.
Hey,
Yeah.
and while we were talking, I did come up with two that were disappointing for me. I got
Okay.
when I was in Texas. I got first time I'd ever been to a Specs. I got an Iron Root Harbinger small batch pick.
I remember that.
and I actually got media samples from there, the year before, and it was great. I'm like, oh, I can't wait. This is a Specs pick. I've never been to a Specs. I got that. That must have been the most freaking dog water whiskey I've ever had in my life. It was terrible. And then I read the label better, and it's like 3 years old. I'm like, this is garbage.
I don't know, Bobby.
That was garbage.
Do you
So
recall
then the other one that I was disappointed in was the Orphan Barrel Indigo's Hour,
Yep.
which isn't. I wouldn't say it's bad, but it's not worth almost $200 at Costco for.
Yeah, I saw your video on that.
It's not bad, but it's a great starter whiskey, but it's not what you were expecting from an 18-year from Orphan Barrel.
Yeah.
They're the masters of the low proof, supposedly, but not this time.
Yeah.
There's not a lot going on, I was disappointed in it because the price point, and I was like, oh shit, Orphan Barrel, it's gonna be great, and it was good. It's good. I'm not gonna say it's not. It's just disappointing.
Yeah.
Give.
Right.
But
And then
was
sorry,
the
go ahead.
Iron Root worse than the Garrison Brothers that you sent me?
Yes, it is.
Okay, well that's
It
it's quite
is.
bad then.
It's not good at all. And I've gone back to it a couple times. I'm like, this is, and I'm just hoping it's a bad ball because I really like most of Iron Root stuff. I do. They're having
Yeah.
good Texas other than Still Austin and Rebecca Creek that I like. Although really Rebecca Creek, I know that I like two things from there. I haven't really had much outside of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's just disgusting. It's terrible.
I think the majority of the Orphan Barrel stuff is very bland. Like it's got all this age on it, and then they bring it down to 90 proof, and it's like,
Yeah.
okay, so you've taken all the character out of it. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I also think I have a palate that does it. Like I have a muted palate because I have a pretty bad sense of smell, and that might be part of it too. But I'm not a fan of the ones I've had so far, at least. So.
I mean, there's
Hey,
nothing like
Brian.
paying $200 for water, so you know.
Yeah, right.
We do
Right.
that in California anyway for actual water.
That's yeah, absolutely, yeah. Okay, so let's stick with whiskey for now, and we'll go to a surprising bottle, a bottle that, and you may or may not have one. Maybe there was nothing that really knocked your socks off that you weren't expecting. Actually, Troy and Laura at Baker Drinks just did a video today on this, and they had some bottles where I was like, oh yeah, I agree with that. But a bottle that maybe took you by surprise, and we'll say in a good way, like, something that you bought and you were like, yeah, we'll try this. And then you cracked it and poured it and we're like, oh my God, this is really, really good. Way better than I expected. So let's start with Ben.
All right. So I have the surprising bottle on my list for tomorrow, but in that version, I did more of like what bottle kind of like, for me, it was surprising because it did well in blends. So it wasn't a new bottle. And so in preparing for this, it made me realize that I actually forgot that I actually tried this bourbon this year. Otherwise, this may have been my surprise bottle. I left the surprise category open to interpretation on the video. But I'm glad you said surprise in a good way, because mine is, bam, I've been shouting this from the rooftops ever since I got it. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Travelers Bold and Spicy Rye.
Ah,
Freaking
okay.
Amazing stuff.
Did you get that at duty free or something like that?
Yep, I got this at the duty free in Cozumel. Incidentally, I will be back there a month from now, and I'm bringing an extra suitcase.
That's awesome.
This thing is just great. I absolutely love this stuff. I was in Detroit a couple weekends ago for a day, and went to the duty free and filmed it. I'll be putting that out in a couple days here. And they had this, so they've got the bold and spicy rye, but then they have the sweet and oaky, which is like the bourbon mash, the standard mash. They didn't have that in Cozumel, so I've still never had that one. And so that, ever since I had this and loved it, that one's kind of been one I've been seeking out. And so last time I was in Mexico, they didn't have it, but the time before that in January, they had it. And so I'm going to be back there in a month. And if they, like I said, if they've got it, I'm bringing an extra suitcase.
Yeah, right on. So Kevin asked if that's available at the Canadian duty frees. Kev, I think that when Ben brought that back from his vacation, I just happened to stop at the duty free at the Peace Bridge and didn't see it. But it's always changing. Like they get stuff in, it goes, and then it could be months and they get it again. So I don't know. I haven't seen it there, but I've only looked a couple times. But Ben, do you know? Because you're close-ish to the border, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's a 6-hour drive from here, so I don't get up there very often.
Okay.
But it's I've seen this at American duty free. So if you're in America and you're leaving the country, like I've seen this in Vegas and I've seen it, and I just saw it in Detroit. Okay. And then I purchased these in the cruise port in Cozumel. So I'm hoping that they have more of this, and I'm hoping they have the sweet gnocchi, because now I want to try that one really bad.
Yeah.
So that's
nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So stay tuned. Wait until next month. We'll find out.
Yeah, hopefully you find some more. All right. Myron, what about you? Do you have a surprising bottle this year, a bottle that really knocked your socks off unexpectedly?
Well, it did surprise me because, I mean, we all know that old turkey used to be 6 to 8 years old, or possibly older. Now they came out with this new 8-year 70th anniversary. I wasn't expecting it to be much different than regular 101, and it surprised the heck out of me, man. I was really blown away by how fruit forward it was.
Day and night over 101. Yeah. Day and night between that and 101. Yeah. We did a review, and I pulled out 101 while we were reviewing it, and I was like, we couldn't believe the difference. Like, and 101 is good on its own, but up against that, it's not even close. That was actually in the discussion for my bourbon of the year. I mean, I was so wowed by that. I really loved it.
And I'll tell you something else that took me by surprise, and I got it on the table tonight. You had brought up the Weller and being disappointed, and I was going to ask you, when have we not been disappointed by a Buffalo Trace product after chasing the hype?
Yes.
But this was supposed to be a 107 pick, and it wound up going up in proof. So the store owner, a good guy named Kevin, I guess they bottled it for him at full proof, and they told him that they said it's all the same recipe. It's just what proof they bottle it at. And he said the 107, when you go to do a pick, you can pick for it. You can ask for the pick to be non-chill filtered. So other than that, they'll chill filter the 107. So he was like, he wanted non-chill filtered, and he wanted a 107. Went down there, picked the barrel. The barrel wound up creeping up in proof. They bottled it at full proof. I got it home, and I was really feeling it, man. I was like, because normally you chase a Weller and then you get it, and it's like, it's a letdown.
Right.
But I was kind of surprised by that thing.
And the full proof is 114, right? Is it 114?
Yeah, 114.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm like you guys, up until now, the best one I've had was the 107. But I don't know. I'd have to put them side by side.
For sure. Yeah.
Can I interject for just a second?
Absolutely.
I no particular reason why, but you guys should probably just not watch my video tomorrow. Nobody's going to like that. I told you I'm going to lose subscribers. Also, got to say cheers to Shane. Says, hello, all you beautiful people, and Ben. That's awesome.
How's it
Shane,
going,
by the way, since you're on here, you've won my Patreon samples. You won last week and a few weeks ago. I sent you a text, but I didn't hear back. Shoot me a text if you want me to send them to you. Otherwise, you can pay them forward to another Patreon member, and I'll do another drawing for those same samples if you want.
Otherwise, he can just send them to me.
Yeah.
Especially that last one. You had those bangers, the Infinite, and that was a great lineup of samples you had.
Oh, yeah. Those are good ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Hey, Shane, I may be doing something Saturday. That's all I can say. On the other channel, though, on Mash Metal. But anyway.
Cool. All right, who's up? Bobby. Surprising bottle this year?
My surprising bottle this year is, does anyone recognize this? This surprised the crap out of me. I don't know many people that got it, because it was a Still Austin Distillery Reserve Series. Their rye that they put out that was finished in Madeira casks. Anyone remember that?
Hold on. Leave it up there for a sec. She's gonna make it. Whoa! Look at that. That is a badass label.
So,
Wow.
DRC got a bottle. His son lives in Austin, so he's able to distillery only, right? So they had very few bottles of it. I mean, not even a full barrel, and you were able to get one. Oh my gosh, there's only 107.6 proof, I believe, and there's so much flavor in that thing. I couldn't get over it. I wish they could replicate that. It's kind of like I would say it surprised the crap out of me, like Rebecca Creek Spanish Oak double barrel.
Okay,
it's right there with it, but the flavor just blew me away. If anyone in chat has a bottle of that and they just want to send out samples, so these guys can all confirm it, we'll be more than happy to take that off your hands.
So Bobby actually got a sample from Great Shot, and it was very good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
nice.
It was incredible, and this starts pissing me off that I know there's absolutely no way I'm getting any more of it.
Yeah,
It's one of those ones like, this is so good. Shit, I'm never gonna have this again.
That was like a one-off. Like they're not making that regularly.
It was like almost a mistake where they just kind of like, no, let's do that. Okay, let's do this. Okay, let me throw a little bit of that in there. All right.
Yeah, just throwing some shit against the wall. Yeah.
They do what? Something like 6 special releases a year now, something like that.
Yeah, they're pumping it up. But yeah, that was crazy, and the label's cool too. So I mean, that helps out.
Hey, Bobby, I have to ask, when we zoomed in, is there an axe over your right shoulder? It looks like there might be an axe over there, down on the floor. Yeah.
An axe.
Okay. So there is an axe in Bobby's vicinity. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Nice. You don't just want to take it to the desk.
Man, these things used to be really heavy. We don't use these anymore. These are display items, but man, these things used to be heavy.
Oh, Sean didn't go yet. Okay. All right. For me, I'm going to say my surprising bottle only because it was hyped and I was like, there's no way this is that good. Has anybody had the Smoke Eye Hill Barrel Proof?
I have not had it yet.
There you go, Sean. I really thoroughly enjoyed it. Like when Fred Minnick was like, oh, this is the Stag Killer, I was like, bullshit. It was good. I mean, it was very good. I thought it had a unique flavor profile. I thought it was like in line. There it is. Yeah. I thought it was kind of in line with the hype. I was pleasantly surprised by it. Now you can't get it. They got it at Sealbox this week.
I want to point out,
I checked my email. They said we've got it. I was like maybe a half hour later, I could go on and actually look for it. It was already gone. Like it's like it comes and goes. You can't get it. But I thought it was really good. And I usually don't go for the stuff that's real hyped. And that was a good bottle. It definitely surprised me. Sean, what about you, sir?
I got 2 again.
Okay.
I'm probably going to get yelled at for one because it's not whiskey. But so this is a buddy of mine, and probably a buddy of several of yours pick, Dusty Dan's pick. This is Sticky Icky. And the reason I'm bringing my disappointing back up is because these 2 bottles are the same price, or they were when this was on sale. So this is a 5.5-year MGP pick done by fantastic people, and this is mediocre whiskey. So, again, be careful where you spend your money.
That backbone is that was the Whiskey Friends and Dan and the Turks and Ben, right?
Yeah. So Logan, Whiskey Friends, the Turks, Ben, Dan, and I'm blanking on what that other thing is. BOTW is, who is that?
Bourbon of the Week.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. I heard that was a great bottle. Yeah.
I mean, and is anybody that knows me knows I'm not like an MGP whore. There's a lot of people out there that are. And,
I am.
Fact, generally, I kind of find it to be mediocre, but this bottle just fantastic.
Yeah.
Great people, great whiskey. They killed it. My other one is not a whiskey, but we met up with Todd and Andy at Old Line in Baltimore. The Case One Rye, which I believe they're going. Yeah, rum. Yeah, not rye. I believe they're going to be doing a pick of this. So if you're not a pizza fan of 2290, I'm going to promote them here for a second. It actually probably will be later in the night as well. Just saying. Nonetheless, yeah, this rum, and I'm not a rum guy, but this rum is amazing. It's finished in single malt casks, and
That'll
it's
probably get it for you.
Yeah.
The single malt cask probably helped it out for you, huh, Sean?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's killer, and it's like $40. It's crazy cheap and really, really good.
Sean, I can't imagine why you'd be talking about 21090 later on in the show.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
It's a mystery. It's a mystery, folks. All right, so let's switch gears here. So, and I know, Sean, this was you were waiting for this one. So we decided to come up with what was your news story of the year? Politics, entertainment, sports, any other pop culture topic. What do you think was the story of 2024? And chat, we want to know what you guys think too. So throw all your ideas or all your answers up in the chat. But what was the story of 2024? We're going to save Sean for last for sure. Because I think Sean's is probably going to create the most discussion. I know, but that's okay.
Sean has two.
Well, it's kind of a buildup, 2020 has been a buildup of it's been so glorious.
Your story has several stages to it. Yeah, for sure. Why don't we go? Let's go Ben first.
Okay. I would say that probably the biggest story and just the fact of the lack of story around it was the attempt on Trump's life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one, and not because it's Trump, just any political figure in America that was he hadn't accepted the nomination yet, but he was the nominee for president, a former president. And just the amount of stuff that just so blatantly on its face does not add up. And like 2 weeks later, it was out of the news cycle. That seems like that was and again, it's not because of who it was. I mean, obviously it made it a big deal, but like any presidential candidate, former president that gets, an assassination attempt, it was how like the absolute complete nothing adds up about that, and just nobody talks about it anymore. And Shane, I was gonna jokingly say that, and I totally forgot to. I meant to say Greg retiring from the Bourbon Note.
Easily the biggest conspiracy of 2024, right there. We all want to know what really happened, Ben.
Release the files, Ben. Release the files.
Release the files.
I think
Greg.
I think, like, and the other thing about that, Ben, like you bring that up, and like I might be totally dealing in conspiracy theories and speculation here, and I totally own that. But there are so many people who say things like, "Oh, they went and scrubbed the kid's house, and they got rid of his phone, and they did like." If all of that is true, and I don't know if it really is or not, maybe you guys have a little more on that, but like the fact that if they did so much to like kind of clean up this kid's kind of story and kind of get rid of as much as they can, that gives me like what the hell's going on there? Like that
for
is
sure. Yeah. But even like take all that aside, like just the location and the fact that people had notified the police, they saw him with a rangefinder. He was flying a drone over the area right before it.
Right.
And then in the one area in that whole place where if you were going to take a shot at somebody, that's where you would do it from. Yeah. I don't know what that is, Sean. This kid just...
This is literally what the security detail area looked like.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pac-Man.
And then the fact that if this was a legitimate...
This missing chunk here is where the guy was. Yeah.
Yeah. And so this kid just randomly showed up and said, I bet they're not probably guarding the most blatantly obvious rooftop in the entire area. He just assumed he was going to get lucky that day. Like nobody would even probably attempt to go up there because you would know for sure they're guarding that roof.
They hey, you guys, you need help with that ladder? Come, we put that ladder for you while you get up there.
Yeah.
It was so blatant.
Insane.
Wow. To Brian Vaughn's point, if it was a Kentucky boy on that roof, we'd be having a different story.
He would not have missed. Yeah, you're right. But yes, and it's like either way, like the story is terrible either way because it either is absolute just incompetence or They were like, it's okay if he gets shot. Like in either way, that's
Yeah.
bad. That's bad.
So weird.
To lose.
And when nobody talk, I mean, there's people online that talk about it, but like, how is that not still the biggest story in the country? The fact that this was we never really got answers about it, and it just completely went away. It's like, I'm not, we have fun talking about conspiracy theory stuff, and like, I'm kind of, midway. I feel like I'm a sane in regards to conspiracy theories. I tend to, but I mean, obviously a lot of stuff doesn't add up, but this one is just, it's right there. They're doing it right in front of everybody,
Bizarre.
and nobody talks about it anymore.
That's the
It's
easiest
bizarre.
place to hide, in plain sight, right?
Well,
Yeah.
we talked about we talked about like favorite things to watch. I watch probably way too much C-SPAN, all the Congress hearings. And all that. When that was going on, like just the lack of answers that came from all that was so frustrating to watch. It's like just nobody
listened to that.
or anything. Just, I mean, honestly, just pulling the Dave Chappelle, I just like plead the fifth on everything.
Yep.
You're the C-SPAN viewer, the one C-SPAN viewer. Man, if you have a hard time going to sleep, turn on C-SPAN.
Yeah.
That's what they're depending on. They're depending on just zoning out and not listening to what they're really saying.
Everyone's having a hard time sleeping.
honestly,
Our
that's-
viewership's
that's-
up.
That's why so much of the country is miseducated now, is because they don't watch C-SPAN. They rely on
No,
the
it's-
people on
it's
the
true.
news.
And I say-
That's
and
probably
you know
true,
that I know
Myron.
it's all boring because I watch it too.
Yeah.
So, then I was about to say, well, they got 3 viewers then, me, you, and Sean.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, honestly, it's the only way to find out what's really going on in the country.
It is.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That and
Yes,
National
you're right.
Geographic.
You're right. All right. So
you go.
Myron, before anybody else on Ben's story of the year before we move on. All right.
Yeah.
Myron, you got one? You have a story that really hit for you this year or something you thought was the most compelling story of the year?
I had to look up something real quick because the news cycle is so fast, and
Right.
and Ben, that's why nobody's talking about it anymore, is because people get fatigued. If a story's on more than 3 days, people are like, oh, this shit again. But
Yeah.
And because it's a massive
one-
government cover-up.
Yeah. Both things. Both of those things.
They can both be
well,
true.
one thing, because I had to go back and look through, like, damn, top 10 stories of 2024. But one thing that did stand out to me is because my cousin, he works as a gate agent, and he actually works. He used to be a flight attendant. He's a gate agent now. But he had pictures of the airport when the AT&T systems went down. So all of the AT&T systems went down, the communication systems went down, and they couldn't land planes, they couldn't take off. I mean, it was a mess for like a couple days.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, man, like technology is great when it's working, but when it's not,
Yeah,
it's
man.
not.
Yeah. I remember
It was wild. I was in New Jersey.
Yep.
And you didn't have service, but I
Yep.
still did. It was crazy.
They like Marie Ann was away with the kid. Were you with the kid? Oh, Marie Ann was away. All our phones went down because we had just moved to AT&T, and it was like, oh, this is like, that was nuts. You don't realize how much you depend on that shit.
It was scary.
And
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much of that stuff was like interconnected. Like
Yes.
AT&T, and then like I said, you had the airports that were jacked up, then
Yep.
you had some banks, their security systems were jacked up. It was
Yep.
like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, there's so much that's on the cellular network besides just phones. Like it's crazy. Yeah.
You guys and your first world problems, we barely even noticed here in Kentucky. I mean, honestly, like I heard about it on the news and I was like, oh, is that really happening? Because I didn't even notice. It was just like another day. Like, yeah, everything kept going. Yep, I'm sure in big cities it was a problem.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Bobby, what about you, brother?
Also, AZ in the house. Cheers, buddy.
I'll do. It's a toss up between their. It just blew my mind how popular how big these things got. Well, Caitlin Clark,
Okay.
just blowing up, just the phenomenon that whole thing was. No, she's not. Yes, she is. Not putting her on an Olympic team when she obviously deserved to be on an Olympic team. The whole thing, right? And then she says something in some Time magazine thing, and now she's losing fans. I mean, the whole how quickly all this stuff happens by what someone says one day and says the next day, or doesn't say anything and then says something. Okay, now the other one that just got huge. and even some more stuff added on the last couple days is the Hawk Tuah girl. Come on, the Hawk Tuah girl.
Spit on that
And then she got some kind of Bitcoin thing going on, some meme coin. She got money and she's scamming, got millions of dollars now because shit took off and then sold in like a few hours, and now people want her in prison. I'm like,
They say she's going to jail, right?
the people want her in
Possibly.
jail. I don't know if what she did is illegal or not, but it's
But see,
definitely
that's the
shaky.
thing, man. Like everybody's pointing fingers at her, but she wasn't really the one behind it.
Right.
The
No.
guy who was
Right.
behind it, who owned the company, who just
Yes.
basically made up the meme coin for her.
Yeah.
You know, they owned 80% of it. And they kind of sold it.
Yeah.
Supposedly they didn't, but they kind of sold a lot of the shit when it was at the top.
And how
And like offshore bank
stupid
accounts,
do you
all
have
those
to
kind of
be?
sketchy.
How stupid do you have to be to buy freaking Hawk Tuah girl meme
Yeah,
coins, dude? How stupid are you?
Yeah, who sat there and was like, this
Spit
is a
on that
good
thing.
opportunity?
Legit. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, easily one of the most disappointing moments of the year. There, Bobby. Yeah.
So, dude, yeah, those two just kind of
Ugh.
both made me go, So,
It's a,
other than
it's
Trump,
a-
and I know what Sean's going to talk about, so I didn't need to bring that up.
yeah, right.
Yeah, so I want to go a little bit different direction. Like, yeah, those are kind of interesting. It just kind of made me go like, why?
It's a lesson in sticking to what you know, Hawk to a girl. Just stick to what you know.
Stick to
know,
what you obviously know.
As a person that lives like less than 2 hours from where she's from, I am disappointed in my people.
Have you guys listened to any of her interviews, like her actual interviews or podcast appearances or anything like that? She was on like
She
Whitney
has her own
Cummings' podcast.
podcast.
She's got her own podcast now.
Yeah.
Have you ever listened to any like extended content with her?
No.
No. I've seen
Just
two
She
clips
actually,
from her podcast.
she's actually pretty funny, and she actually does come across as a genuinely likable person.
Yeah.
She does.
Yeah,
watched
like she's
clips
not
of
like
her.
she's not just like an annoying idiot. Like she's actually kind of funny, and she comes across as a likable person.
But Ben, does she come across as somebody you want to trust your investment capital with?
Like,
Absolutely
coin.
not.
What
were you gonna say,
my life
Myron?
savings? What?
Well,
I watched the
AZ's point here, he says Kentucky girls are wild, evidently. In fairness, AZ, when this whole Hawk Tuah thing came about, I just thought that's how everybody did it. I didn't know this was newsworthy.
She said what we're all thinking.
That's what Sean knows. He doesn't know any better, any different.
Isn't that just how you do? I don't know.
I like it.
I've watched snippets of her in podcasts. She does come across like a likable person. I
Yeah,
even
just a
watched her
normal
go
person.
like she said, I'm going to stretch this 15 minutes as long as I can because I don't know how long it's going to be here. And
Good for her.
she went to the pet store
Yeah.
because she loves animals. So she bought like all this pet food for the animal shelters. I was like, she seems like a nice down to earth girl,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
She does. But from another perspective, it's like, why would you invest in her freaking meme coin with your life savings? You people are
That's a mistake.
just being
It's
a
a
normal
mistake.
person, but then investing in someone that's just a normal person.
Right. Hello, Steven Scone, Shelf Sippers. Go subscribe to Steven Scone if you haven't, guys.
Cheers.
And okay, grand finale, Sean. Let's get into it.
Fireworks coming.
All right. Well, I think we have to start the story where it starts, and that is with Cat Williams. Thank you, Cat, for being the prophet you are.
Not all heroes wear capes, although Cat Williams sometimes does wear a cape.
That's true. He does. He
And
does.
her,
And,
Right.
A royal cape of sorts, like a king.
and with a scepter.
But nonetheless, he said, paraphrasing, that all these, I'm not going to use his exact words, but nonetheless, these shady folks out here would be exposed. And he named Diddy, but he said all of them, and we all know who the all is now. At least we have a pretty good idea. And it was Diddy first, for sure. And some of you may have caught the fact that I did a Diddy meme stream. In that stream, I would say I spent roughly half the time shitting on a certain Jay-Z. Oh, buddy. If I did celebrate Christmas and I had a Christmas wish, it has certainly come true. Oh. How the turns have tabled, or whatever the thing. You know, here's the thing. Like back, I mean, I've been a hip hop head for most of my life, and I have disliked Diddy and Jay-Z for most of that time because I've always thought they were fake and no good. And if you follow either one of these individuals at all, then you know about all the shading dealings they've had with all kinds of people. We're going to focus on Jay-Z tonight. And, you know, Jay-Z has been allegedly with Foxy Brown when she was either 14 or 15.
Yep.
Now, these are all alleged, although there's a lot of rumors. So, you know, when there's so many rumors, eventually it's like, what's going on? He was also allegedly with Aaliyah when she was underage. He was also allegedly with Beyonce when she was underage. Beyonce says that they met when she was 18, but there's very clear pictures of them together when she was 16. So why you lying, Beyonce? Anyway, I'm just saying there's a pattern of behavior here. And now the current accusation, for anyone that isn't in the know, is that him and Diddy had their own little party with a 13-year-old girl when she was drugged. Yeah, so, you know,
It's
I'm
gross.
just saying, you know, eventually karma catches us all.
Good.
And so, you know, you can't keep being a piece of crap and continue to get away with it. And so I'm glad that, you know, whatever the thing is you believe in, God, karma, whatever the thing is, I'm glad it's working. And so, yeah, 2024 has been wild. And I'm happy things are going exactly the way the Cat described. Bravo, Cat.
Yes. Hey man, like when I saw that Cat Williams interview, I was like, "Oh come on, this guy!" Like, because Cat Williams, I guess, like I know he still toured. I know he had Netflix specials, but you didn't really hear the name Cat Williams a whole lot. I was like, okay, he's like getting his 15 minutes back or whatever. And I watched the whole damn thing front to back, and I just couldn't believe that he would say all these things. Just say it and name names and stuff. And then I was like, all right, well, nothing's going to come of it. And now here we are at the end of the year. And it's like, holy shit, he called it. Like he nailed it.
I almost forgot one
Cat
final
Williams
thing.
is a wild dude, so when he goes off saying all this crazy stuff, it's easy to kind of just be like, all right, he's, Cat's a wild dude.
Yeah,
You
right.
know, but yeah,
Exactly.
There's that whole interview when he was talking to Shannon Sharp. He's
Yes.
like, they were
That's what
offering me
I'm talking
$55 million to show up, and he's like, basically, he said his whole goal is to just keep his virginity, so he didn't. Like,
Yeah, man. Yeah, one final thing on the whole Jay-Z issue, and I mean, they're all friends. But, so Jay-Z was friends with Weinstein, Epstein, Diddy. And also the very famous incarcerated R. Kelly. In fact, he made a record with R. Kelly after the original allegation. Remember the piss video? Remember that back in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
Yes, I do, because that happened in Buffalo, New York.
Yeah. He made the record with R. Kelly, Best of Both Worlds, after those allegations. And there's a song on that record that's something like Guilty Until Proven Innocent. It's something like that.
Perfect.
That's roughly those words.
It's the perfect example of like where there's smoke, there's fire, right? Like all this stuff swirling around them, but no, there's no issues here. Like it's crazy. It's crazy.
It says Jay-Z does have 99 problems. To be fair.
So AZ, I heard a play on that. Jay-Z has 99 problems, but can sit 8-1.
Oh, dude.
Consensus for suckers. That's Jay-Z.
I'm gonna say
I
the
hope-
same thing.
I hope
No,
all
I'm
of
gonna
them.
say the same thing that I said in the text, and that is these days I don't put anything past anybody.
Correct.
Because Jay-Z
Nothing-
has
not
been
much
linked to Foxy
surprising.
Brown allegedly. He
Yep.
has been linked to Aaliyah allegedly. I mean,
Right.
there are clear pictures. Now, I don't know if she was necessarily underage, but there are clear pictures when Jay-Z had his hand around her waist at a party with his chin over her shoulder, and it looked a little suspect. And then all of a sudden, Dame Dash is dating her. And it's like kind of like she looked young back then. And then we know that Beyonce she's like you said, Sean, she said she was 18, but there's a little bit of evidence that shows otherwise. I'm just saying. So I don't put anything and at one point he was one of my favorites. I wouldn't say he was like my number one, but at one point he was one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But you do look at people in a different light when different things happen. And it's just you just kind of look sideways like, wow. Like,
Yep.
You know, because
Like
I know
when
him and
found
Dane
out
had
Sean
beef in the
liked
past.
Garrison Brothers.
huh?
Like when I found out Sean liked Garrison Brothers, I'm like, what? Sean?
Oh yeah.
In fairness, only the super high end stuff. I'm very
Yo,
bougie.
it's like Jack Daniels to be even honest.
Yeah.
Really,
You mean like the cowboy and nothing else, right?
Yeah,
Pretty
Cowboy.
much.
Actually, yeah. Well, so Cowboy is my favorite, and then the Balmarea is probably second, and then the
Okay.
Guadalupe is okay. But all those are like over $200 bottles, so they're
The
the problem.
Balmorhea is the double oak one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've had that one. It's good.
Wildly double oaked.
I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, and I didn't really like. I was kind of bounce off of you, Sean, because I think that Cat Williams interview is it started all this. It's the story of the year. I mean, 100% insane. Like to get this all rolling and to start naming all these names, it was absolutely crazy, and I'm here for it. I'm here for even more in 2025 for sure.
Oh yeah.
I want to see.
Was
all
the
names.
Cat Williams thing what got this all? Because I know they've kind of been looking into him for a while. So he's kind of like the Hannibal Buress. Like if you remember, Hannibal Buress was the guy. Like everybody kind of low key knew about Bill Cosby, and then Hannibal Buress did some like stand up bit about it, and it kind of went viral, and it just kind of forced this whole like public awakening, and which led to all this stuff. And then so is that? I mean, I knew Cat Williams had all this stuff like saying these things, but I didn't know if that's what got it kind of started popping off. What's up, 21090?
He did
Yeah,
the two.
here's
Yeah,
Todd.
Todd, what's up? Stick around. We might be talking about you in a little bit.
Yeah, maybe.
You know, I mean, honestly, I hope that whole crew, I hope everybody involved, like Ellen and Ashton Kutcher, I hope all of them. I hope they all go down.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Todd and Andy. I was like, what the
No,
hell?
no.
Yeah,
Todd Andy-
Andy, man, that whole crew.
Somebody's gonna do like somebody's got to do a photo edit of Todd and Andy at a Diddy White party.
no.
Well, and
That
like,
whole crew.
is it just because of the election that Ellen was like, oh, I'm going to get the hell out of the country and go to England? Like, maybe not.
You know what, man? I think
Please
that
do.
between like the Harvey Weinstein stuff and, you know, everybody kind of knew about that and everybody kind of knew about Bill Cosby, and you hear all about all this stuff with kids in Hollywood, like not like some secret underground ring. I mean, like kids that grow up in Hollywood, like child stars, they all have these stories of, you know, abuse and stuff like that. And then you got Diddy, and then you got the Epstein thing, and it's just like, I don't know if maybe like people are just, I hope people are just done listening to Hollywood for any sort of like, I mean, it certainly seems like they didn't have any influence on this election this year, obviously, because the candidate that they were for, definitely they came out in droves, and it just didn't seem to move the needle, I think. And this isn't an endorsement of either political candidate or anything. I'm just saying, like, the Hollywood endorsements, I don't think are worth anything anymore. And I hope that's because
It's a
people are
hindrance.
looking at all this stuff that comes out of there and just like, nobody wants to take nobody wants to hear your stance on shit.
Yeah.
Like, nobody wants to hear
anything
your
from anyone.
moral
Why
high
would-
ground.
Why would you take advice from pedophiles and degenerates?
Nobody is
Yeah.
like, oh, wait, hold on, everybody be quiet. Mark Ruffalo is going to tell us who to vote for. Like, nobody's doing that anymore.
Go play the Hulk and shut up.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't think any endorsements are worth a shit anymore, to be honest
I
with you.
think you're right.
Because
Yeah.
everybody's got so many skeletons in their closet. You look at the cleanest guy on Capitol Hill, and I guarantee you he's got 10 skeletons in his closet.
Well, yeah, because
At
Myron,
least.
why do you think they get there? The only reason they get there is so they can use the power to abuse people. That's what the
Absolutely.
government does.
Absolutely. And you don't get there without somebody having some shit on you either. Because you don't get that power without somebody having their thumb on you.
Well, you know, Brian, to that point, I know we're kind of running late on time, but that was probably the most interesting thing about the whole Diddy situation is that that's what he was doing. He was using his power to, and that's why I think we're going to see a lot more people come out in this whole thing, because if Diddy goes down, he's going to bring everybody with him. And like, supposedly he has tapes of all this stuff. So,
Absolutely.
you know, so there's a lot of, now whether it'll ever make the light of day, hard to say, but there's a lot of information out there.
So real quick, I'll just highlight Todd's comment here. I know Bobby is excited about that. I know Sean's going to be excited about that.
Hot damn.
The Coy Hill Killer is picked up today and headed to Sherpur.
Hell yes, man.
That's what I'm
If
talking
you-
about.
Cannot wait.
If you watched us a couple months ago, we had Todd and Andy on. That is their hazmat bourbon pick from Corbin Cash, and it is incredible.
Can't wait to put it in my one of those two
And what's the
cases.
proof on it, Brian?
Is it 140? Is it 142? 150?
No, 150.
It's 150.
Yeah, the
bourbon is
150, right.
150.
Yeah,
bourbon
the
is
bourbon
150.
was 150 proof. Crazy. And did
And
not
drank
drink.
like 125, 115.
Yeah.
Absolutely fantastic.
Easy peasy.
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, Todd said 150. Yeah, crazy.
You know,
Absolutely crazy.
Todd, I just want to say, if only I had it in hand, it could have potentially made a list.
Yeah, well, speaking of which, let's get to it. So let's get back into the whiskey, guys. And Todd said it's 8 years old too. So double
150.
bonus right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. 8 years.
All right. So back to
Did you say double boner?
Yes,
double
definitely. Why doesn't everybody have that?
It's going to happen on first step for sure.
Here it is right here. This 21090 Corbin Cash hazmat bourbon, single barrel, 8 years, 150 proof. Oh,
So
Man, that is willpower right there, Myron.
yeah,
I drank
you still have some, Myron?
night
yes,
we got it, I
I've been
drank.
I've been holding on to this thing, man.
You
This
got to
was
get a
incredible.
little dropper and send us all a couple of drops.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to it. Bourbon of the year, I guess your whiskey of the year, bourbon of the year, whatever you would prefer. Because I don't think we have to like kind of box ourselves into just a bourbon. We drink a lot of whiskey. So let's start with Ben. Do you have a bottle that just far and above anything else you had this year?
Yes, and you can find out what it is on tomorrow's video that will be released.
But do
No,
you have
so
a
I
runner
actually-
up, Ben?
I do, and I actually mentioned the runner-up in tomorrow's video. I said it was kind of between these two as far as I said, this is another one that was one of the better ones I had this year. That Murray Hill Club Special Release number 4.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Wow.
Finished in
Really?
some weird, it was finished in like Calvados cask. or
Calvados,
something like
it's the
that.
apple brandy, yeah.
Yeah, Nancy Fraley blend. That was a monster. But so I'm going to go with that one for tonight because it was the runner-up, and then the other one will be on the video tomorrow.
Okay, fair enough. Myron, what about you?
Old Carter. It was the Old Carter OC4. It's an Old Carter pick for their members only. I had a chance to get. It is 16-year-old American light whiskey, 99% corn, 1% malted barley. Phenomenal. It is so incredible that I'm telling you, man, I don't know what the hell type of voodoo they do at Old Carter when they do the blending. I know it's going away, but God, man, that is just whatever they do is just amazing.
You did a video on that one, didn't you, Myron? Because I remember you talking. Were you talking about that on here? Or was that? Did I watch a review?
No,
on
I did a video on it. Yeah, I did a video
Okay.
on it. A buddy of mine, he went down there to do a pick with the same guy who did the pick for the Weller, Kevin. So Brad went down with Kevin, and they went to a whole bunch of distilleries doing picks for Kevin's store, and they went to Old Carter because Kevin was at one point a member, but I think he doesn't have it anymore now because of what's going on. But he had a chance to get one, and he let me sample it, and it was. Man, it was amazing. That and Batch 14, their Batch 14 that they released this year.
And light whiskey
we
too.
lose
So that's
Brian?
interesting.
No, you lost Brian.
Sean.
There you go.
Yeah, I saw his mouth moving, and it was like silent there for a second. I was like, I think we lost Brian.
It's my fault.
It's me? Okay.
Yes.
So I made a whole list, as I always do, because
fair enough. Go for it.
Anyway, so I already showed off some. Case 1, although not a whiskey, was my 10 spot. One of my JD Ryes was my 9 spot. The Backbone Bourbon I showed off earlier was my 8 spot. Smoke Eye Hill, as Brian had mentioned, as his surprise bottle, was my 7 spot. B524 was my 6. Four Roses single barrel. This is my only second Four Roses single barrel ever, and I got the recipe I've been looking for forever, the OESK, and it is fantastic. That is my 5 spot. Then this Kings County pick back here, which you got to get some Kings County. These things are phenomenal. Kings County pick was my 4 spot. This one it's almost unfair to even mention because literally I think only a dozen bottles of this ever existed ever. So Mr. Jigs, he has a buddy that does crazy finishes, and yeah, this is one of them. So this is finished. This is a JD barrel proof finished in pecan chips that Jigs' buddy did, and it's one of the greatest whiskeys I've ever had. It's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you, Jigs.
Weird.
Wherever you're at, buddy, love you. Hope you're feeling better. Yeah. Special label and everything. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So that was my 3 spot. Now I guess this is technically my whiskey of the year currently because we don't have the other bottle, Todd. But for now, this is the whiskey of the year. This is of course Corbin Cash from 21090. Their pick, their rye. Great rye. Look at the tater sticker. You guys killed it. You know you did. Yeah, thank you, Todd and Andy, for the pick. It was amazing. Yep. Yeah, and if I had the bourbon, it would be right here, and I'd be talking about it right now. But I do not,
Definitely.
so I can't. But yeah, we did get to try it. Thank you, Todd, for sending out samples. Much appreciated, and it was absolutely amazing. And that will probably be my actual bourbon of the year should it get here before the end of the year.
And if it comes in January, it could be your 2025 bourbon of the year.
Yeah. And that's true. Bobby did help. Bobby did help with that. And yeah, that's
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, by the
How
way,
about-
shout out to non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang. He's the one who sent me the Murray Hill Club picks. I see he's in the chat. So Dave, thank you. And actually, my one that wins tomorrow was also a sample from non-bike riding Dave Vogelsang. Go figure.
Why does that not surprise me?
I've got that Murray Hill Club sample sitting in a mystery box. So eventually one of our on our Patreon.
Oh,
we'll review that.
it's a monster.
Yeah. Awesome. Bobby, what about you? Bourbon of the year?
So I'll give you my runner up. I mean, and I'd have to take these side by side, but definite runner up for me is Russell's 15.
Okay.
Russell's 15 is incredible. I mean, I know there's a lot of hype around it, but I'm like, as soon as I got some, I'm like, oh shit, this hype was right. It's really, really good. I don't even think about the 13 anymore, really. Other than the first release of the 13, I don't even think about it anymore. That Russell's 15 was incredible. But I will say, I don't care if I have it or not. That freaking Coy Hill Killer 21090, that's my bourbon of the year right now. That's what I'm going to have to taste. I'm going to have them side by side. 150 proof to sip that low. I was involved in the picks. I may have had a little bit more than you guys, so it's really ingrained in there. And if I'm going to be thinking about a whiskey, that's the one. And maybe because I don't have it, I think about it more, and you just can't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe that. Hey, I think there's some subterfuge here going on. I think they're playing us. They're going to make us want it more, and it's going to be the fastest sellout ever. That's what's going on.
It's like building the anticipation.
Yeah, they're building it. It's a label issue. Dang it! Now I want it even more. I'm going to buy 2 cases now.
But I mean, Bobby, to your point, like just such a unique profile and just so cool as well. I mean, it's just I've never had another whiskey like it. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. 8 years, 150 proof to sip that. It's an easy sipper at 150 proof.
Yeah.
I mean, don't try to get up and walk around, much after, but it's an easy sipper. And I'll say like a third one for me is a local one that, unless you live in California, unless I send samples, is from Sabbatical. They have a cask strength that they just send out to their club members. Crazy good too. It blew my mind. It's their first cask strength, single barrel cask strength release ever. I'll have to get you guys some of that too. That kind of blew my socks off. I was like,
Nice.
I said, you guys you had this back here? Good stuff.
That's awesome.
So that's me right
Okay.
there.
For me,
Good stuff.
I think so. This one, I always do this as like my favorite bourbon I had for the year because sometimes bourbon of the year, there's a lot of stuff I won't try. So sometimes I feel like it's like, well, I didn't get that, so I can't really include that, or like we kind of limit our scope of what we buy. But I will say, I'll do 3. Let's say so Old Soul. I got an Old Soul pick. This is not it. This is our pick that just came out this week. But I got an Old Soul pick in no, Massachusetts, at Cappy's Liquor in Massachusetts. And I remember that because my uncle used to own a Cappy's Liquor. But I had never had an Old Soul before, and it like just was so good. It was like super sweet, and like I absolutely loved it. This one is very similar. It's not quite the same profile, but it is. So that Old Soul pick from Massachusetts is one of my favorite bourbons I had this year. I will say Heart Release I loved. I know it was kind of 50-50 people were on it. I loved the like chocolate, like the cocoa notes on this and the roasty notes on this. I love this. This is probably my favorite bottle of Maker's Marks I've had. I do have a lost recipe on the way from Colorado that I think I've heard really good things about, but I
that
love
one's really good.
Yeah, I can't wait to get it. My buddy's son lives in Colorado, and he got a bunch for us to bring back for Christmas. I was between. I had a couple that I was going to say number one. I was going to do Elijah Craig Barrel Proof C924. I was going to do the Wild Turkey 70th, and then I realized that this year was Penelope 9-year, and I think Penelope 9-year is my absolute favorite bourbon this year. I absolutely loved it. I thought like it made me wish for more higher age MGP, because I think like, and I get it. Like, I think Penelope, like they had just bought MGP. They cherry picked these barrels and put out an amazing first release for like, hey, this is our first release since owning Penelope. Boy, oh boy, is that bourbon freaking, that bottle is great. I think that is my favorite bottle I had all year.
I have to get one of those because I keep hearing you guys rave about them, and I've seen it on the shelf, and I've just never pulled the trigger on it. What were you saying, Myron?
Yeah, go ahead,
I
Myron.
was just saying it is a damn good bottle. I mean, I think it's like 79 bucks is what it retails for. 101 proof, 9-year-old Penelope Estate. I had it at a bourbon meetup. It was damn good, man. Damn good.
I'll mute this. All right, we have one more. Hold on. Marianne wants to give her bourbon of the year.
Oh, I know. Okay, I'm not camera ready at all today. This is not good. Okay, never mind. We'll do it on our channel. It's fine. Bye, everybody. Never mind. I'm not.
Brian turned his mic off.
No, it's good now.
You're good. You're good now. Okay.
Oh, no, we're still echoing.
It's not bad though.
Yeah,
like,
but it's not bad.
the feedback's gone. The feedback. So you're good. Go ahead.
Hey, hold on. I know where it is. Got it.
There we go. Okay.
Okay, this was gifted to me.
Can you hear?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh, except I have to unmute my computer so I can hear them. What a disaster this is. Sorry.
Shit show.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
You're good.
All right. So this was gifted to me. I never thought we'd have one. It is freaking delicious. Tastes like Christmas in a glass. It's the Woodford Masters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the 121.2.
Yeah.
Hey, is that the one from this year?
Pardon?
Is that the one from this year?
Yes. Yeah. It's so good, and I'm I think about it quite often, and I want when clients like, do you want a pour? I'm like, yes, I want the Woodford, and then I'm like, no, save it.
Bottle.
What? I'm sorry.
You need a backup bottle.
We do. I think maybe somebody else should buy me a backup bottle.
There you go.
If you knew anyone, right?
Right. I know. Yeah. I was
Somebody
just
with the
voted.
bourbon channel.
I just was voted Employee of the Month at my school and got an award today. Maybe somebody should gift me one of these for my very special class.
Yeah.
That'll be me.
Congratulations. I know somebody right there.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yep.
we can have a little bit of this right now.
Yeah, Maria. We know a guy. And
Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm getting out of here now. I mean, I'm going backstage.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll mute. Bye, guys. Thank
See
you.
ya.
Cheers.
All right. So I don't know. I don't know if anybody in the chat gave us their bourbon of the year.
No.
I didn't see many pop out. Oh, Steven said Old Soul is terrific.
Do you imply that I'm
yeah.
not doing my job?
I do. I'm implying you're not doing your job, yeah. But I don't see a lot. But if you want to drop in the chat what your favorite bourbon was this year, your bourbon of the year, go ahead while we wrap things up for tonight. So we're not really going to do a rapid fire, but we do have kind of one last topic or question to go around with. And that was kind of, it doesn't have to be a prediction, but kind of looking forward to 2025.
We're doing this.
What's that?
I forgot we were doing this.
Oh, that's okay.
Go
It
ahead.
can be a prediction, a wish, or just something you're looking forward to in 2025. And we can make it whiskey centric, but if you want to deviate from that, you're welcome to. Let's start with Sean. Since you've been last so many times, Sean, and you weren't prepared for this. You want me to come back to you?
Perfect. Let's see what I can come up with in 5 seconds. All right. Well, I mean, I said a bunch of things backstage when we initially talked about this, and I don't remember any of them because I was drinking. But it was something to the fact that I don't think we'll see like the bubble's already burst as far as bourbon goes, as far as we can tell. I don't think we'll see the effects of that necessarily in 25. But I think that, down the road in the somewhat near future, hopefully we'll start to see older bottles coming back around. I don't know if that's a 2025 prediction. I guess my actual 25 prediction is more of like a hopeful. And that is all these pedophiles hung in the public yeah.
Game of Thrones style.
Yeah. Okay. In fairness, if we went back to that, I feel like there'd be less of them.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Might be a deterrent, you mean?
The Epsteins, the Weinsteins, the Diddy's, the Jay-Z's, the Clintons, all of them. Let's just, if we just start hanging them in the public square, we can solve our problem. I'm just
That's awesome. I love it.
Now we have to debate the death penalty at some point.
Oh boy, that'll be that's more first of the year topic.
If you're touching kids, there's no debate.
Well,
all right. How about Myron? Myron, you got anything for next year? A prediction, a hope, a what you wish to see coming up in 2025?
Well, the first statement I must make is CIA, FBI. I do not agree with that statement. I do not want the
Disavow. Disavow.
Don't worry. They're coming for me anyway. I'm not worried.
No, honestly, no, man. I just want to see. I don't think we're going to get it. What I would want to see is better bourbon put out, because it just seems like the quality of bourbon has gone downhill. There's still some great bottles put out, but when you put those up against older bottles, case in point, I love Maker's Mark Cask Strength, the $44 bottle versus the $69 squattier bottle from back in the day. One of the stores that I go to from time to time, they had one. I bought it, loved it, and then was in there the other day with my man Scott and saw it again. So they had more than one. So, but it's like, I don't know. It's like the quality has just gone down. I would love to see more quality whiskey being put out versus people just buying stuff from MGP or buying stuff from Kentucky and saying, hey, this is a cool story behind it. I know it's only 4 years old, but it's worth $400.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm with you. It feels like it's like thinned out. The quality is thinned out for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
For anyone that couldn't see it, this is C920 in it.
I was going to say, is that a 19 or a 20? Because I know you love those. Yeah.
The C920, I still got some of mine. That's my favorite of that whole. Still my favorite.
Pretty damn.
I just got a couple of samples of that. He sent me 2 2-ounce bottles. Sugar Kitty sent me some C920.
Ooh,
So I'm pretty excited to dip into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Bobby, what about you? Hope, wish, prediction
Yeah, I'm
for
just
2025?
these barrel picks that we're gonna do, for this channel and my own channel.
Mhm.
At the beginning of the year, looks like that's what's gonna happen. I'm looking forward to getting those under our belts here.
Yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to for this next year coming up.
Yeah, that's super exciting. I mean, we without giving too much away until things are official, we are hoping to do pretty cool barrel pick in the next month or two. So
Yes.
that'll be exclusive to the Whiskey 6, and hopefully that comes through, and we're real excited for it. So yeah, I'm with you on that one, Bobby. Ben, what about you, brother?
First of all, I agree with what 21090 just said. Myron, how you were saying it's kind of thinned out a little bit, the quality.
Mhm.
But then there's a lot of diamonds in the rough if you find them. I think there's a lot of overpriced bad stuff, but every once in a while there's some brands that are doing some really good stuff. But then, the market's a little saturated with some of that other crap that they're just somebody take a 4-year MGP and not finish it, not blend it, not do anything with it and charge $100 for it.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Right,
over
just
that. I'm
write in
with
the
you on
bottle
that.
and put a cool label on it and be done. Yeah.
So when I made a kind of a whiskey prediction because I read that on the Google Docs thing. So I kind of took mine as the whiskey prediction, and I kind of predicted this a while ago, and it hasn't necessarily come true. But I remember when the Amburana finish thing kind of had its day in the sun. It seemed like after that there was like a small sort of rumbling of these different brands that were doing different kinds of like maple barrel finishing, and I'm wondering if that's going to be, I'm still waiting to see. I thought maybe that was going to be the next. Amburana thing, because for a while there, everything was Amburana.
Yeah.
There was all these different brands coming out with it. And so I always kind of thought that maybe the maple barrels were going to be next, because we had a couple of maple barrel samples. And they're actually really good. They're very desserty, and they're kind of a once in a while pour. But I kind of thought maybe that was going to be the next thing. So I still am kind of waiting to see that.
Yeah.
I feel like that might still be sort of a thing. So I don't know. That's kind of what my whiskey prediction has been for the last 6 months.
Is it me? Yeah. All right, cool. So mine, I guess mine is like a prediction and a wish. Like, at least around me, tequila seems to be becoming very big. Like, it's like people are sipping tequila straight. There's like bars where you go and there's just like my local bar that we go to, because it's the bar that adults go to. Not the college.
I saw
kid.
that in your video, by the way. Thought that was funny. I was like, we go here so Brian doesn't run into his former students.
Yeah, right. Because we're a college town. So, but we've got one bar, and they're folks our age or a little younger, but older adults, and it's like an adult bar. Yeah. But her liquor, like, she's got a regular shelf behind the bar, but then her featured liquor shelf is all bourbon and tequila. And like the tequila is starting to overtake the bourbon on her shelf, really. Yeah. And so for me, what I hope and what I think I see happening is that tequila is going to become the next one that is a bubble. And I think for us, that actually might be a good thing, because then maybe, possibly, I don't know if this is true. I mean, bourbon drinkers aren't all just going to go start drinking tequila. No. But I'm hoping that loosens up bourbon a little bit for us, because the demand might fall a little bit, and tequila is the next big thing. But I that's what I see starting to happen. I don't know though, because you always see something that's like the next best thing. And then bourbon has been real hot and then cooled off and then been hot again. It seems like bourbon's always the one that comes back and is hot again. So I don't know if that'll be a long-term change, but I would love to see it, because I would love to be able to just go to the store and get a good bottle of bourbon and not have to wait in line to get it or have a raffle ticket to get it, and just be able to just get a bottle of Buffalo Trace or get a bottle of Stag off the shelf, because it's just easier to get, so that's what I'm hoping for.
I thought you said go to the store and get a good bottle of bourbon. I'm joking. I love Stag, and I do think Buffalo Trace is good.
I mean, Buffalo Trace has its place. I mean, most bottles in that category you can get easily, but it's nice to have on the shelf. It's decent, and even that entry level Buffalo Trace bottle is almost impossible some places to get, which is crazy to me.
I agree with you, Brian. I hope something like that does happen, man, because they are killing us. And right now, tequila's taking off. My stepfather, he was always a cognac guy. Now he really never liked this taste and smell of bourbon. Mm-hmm. So tequila came along, he started getting into tequila, and now that is his thing. So I'm hoping the market shifts towards tequila. And like you said, some of that stuff that we could never walk into a store and get, $41 bottle. Yeah. And it's just sitting there on the shelf. So if we enjoy it, we enjoy it. If we don't like it, it just sits there. Yeah. Not buying it because of the hype behind it.
Yeah.
And Brian, to your point, you can tell at least what a portion of the country is drinking based on shitty country songs. And there was way too many shitty country songs about tequila this year. So I think you may have something there. Yeah.
That's
I think
but you may be joking, but you may be absolutely right too.
Yep. Yep.
Is
You
that the
just-
barometer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be.
And I think, and honestly, Brian, I think the taters that were in bourbon will follow tequila. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Because they want, I mean, in fairness, tequila does have some pretty slick looking bottles. Like, I don't know if you've seen some of those premium tequila bottles. They're like works of art. They're really cool.
But at least we could justify some of the prices of bourbon with age. Like
Yes.
most tequilas aren't aged long
No,
at all.
No, they're
Right.
not.
You know,
No.
I'm like that bottle costs how much? $2,500 for what?
Yeah.
I'm
Right.
like,
Yeah.
you gotta be
For a
shit.
Blanco? Come on. You crazy?
And
How
it's
much do
based,
agave plants cost anyway?
Right.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
and to Myron's point, what's crazy is it's usually equivalent to what a finish would be on a bourbon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like as far as like time period.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It's not like an añejo is 15 years, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. All right. Let's go around the horn real quick and just see what everybody has coming up. Myron, what do you got coming up?
Hopefully we got a pick coming with we poor decisions. You guys know Matt, Whiskey Wisdom, John Echoes in Eternity, Carlos Whiskey Corner, Barrel Dave. I don't think Troy and Laura are getting in on the next pick, but hopefully we have a pick coming from Nashville Barrel Company. The Westward
nice.
picks are finally in. So let me do a little bit of self-advertisement real quick. The
So,
Westward picks are finally in. So those are done. If you guys are in this American single malt. But other than that, just you got me at full screen.
Yeah. Put them up there, Myron.
Got the
Myron,
Westward pick.
I don't watch. I didn't know you guys did a Westward. I'm gonna have to get on this. Okay.
They've got two of them. One's like, what is
Yeah.
one? Like chocolate hazelnut. And then what are
Yeah,
they?
one is chocolate hazelnut brownie and one is cherry sex bomb. And I swear, like the night that we did the picks, everybody picked 17-202, which the one that was so cherry forward, it was ridiculous. But then like I shot a video, messed the audio up the other day, and 412 was winning out. And then in the comments that we were getting back from people, 412, which was the hot chocolate hazelnut brownie, that was winning out. So and then I came back to the 17-202, and then that was winning out. It's like they go back and forth, man. They are so different. One's 7.5 years, one's 8.5 years. But yeah, so that's the Barrel Company and the Westward.
It's nerdly.
Okay. In the Westwards are through Shared Pour, right? Is it Shared Pour?
No, through Westward. So
okay.
So we have a site. Matt from Whiskey Wisdom set up a site, poordecisions.club.
Okay.
But the links that are in there go directly to the Westward site. And so when you order like through the website, it goes directly to the Westward site and they ship it out.
Okay.
I put them in the links of all of my last videos. They were supposed to ship the second week of November, and they didn't ship until like I think about a week and a half ago.
Sexual chocolate.
Oh, come on, Randy
Yeah,
Watson. Come on, Snurdly.
Randy
Watson.
Come
coming
on
to
now.
America.
Sexual.
Bobby and I started laughing at the exact same time. We both saw the mix. He said,
Put your
Steiny
hands
Snurley said,
together.
mix them together, and you got sexual chocolate.
From Mr. Randy Watson.
Also,
I never like honestly.
Patreons.
That's
True.
funny as hell because as many times as I watched Coming to America, I never even thought of that. I never even thought of it.
That's what
God
you should
damn,
call a
that boy
package
can
deal.
sing.
Yeah, there you go.
Package deal should be
Yeah,
called
sexual
sexual chocolate.
Yeah.
That would be nice.
All right. Hey, Sean, what about you? You got anything coming up, brother?
Yeah. So Saturday, gonna do a little stream. As I hinted at earlier, we did the Diddy meme stream, which was a ton of fun. Had a ton of fun. The Diddy meme stream, making fun of Diddy and all his lube and dildos. Well, Saturday we're gonna have to have a follow-up because, as I mentioned on the Diddy meme stream, should Jay-Z go down as well, I said I have to do a stream. Oh, and it's that time. Yeah, it's that time.
Awesome.
Dude.
Awesome. I will catch you on the replay. I'm sorry I can't be there, but it sounds like it's going to be a blast. So
Wow.
Also, though, the whole stream will not be just about Jay-Z. We're also going to be talking about greatest rappers alive, kind of a debate of sorts.
Rose and Lube.
And guess who won't be on the list? Yeah.
You should call that stream Dildos and Dildon'ts.
Honestly, Sean,
Ben has
am
one
gonna
every
try and make
episode.
it.
I love it.
8 o'clock Saturday, I'm going to try and make it.
Yeah, man, that'd be cool if you
Right
could. Appreciate it.
All right.
You know, you're just missing the Hawk Tua girl.
Yeah.
Bobby, what you got going on, brother?
Oh, I got going on. I got starting Friday is my Naughty or Nice 12 days of Christmas. So the last 12, well, actually 13 days leading up to Christmas. The last Christmas day will be like the winner of what we got going on. We got, I put it off Patreon peeps. They sent me some samples and 1 ounce of whatever whiskey they sent me doing it blind and 1 ounce of eggnog. It's my third year doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Blind them. And we're going to pick a winner, whichever one wins. They're going to get they can pick from either a bottle of Eagle Rare, or I got like a sample set of a bunch of allocated stuff like
Nice.
Chili Stags and Wellers and stuff, like five or six little sample bottles.
Okay.
So it's fun. Rick DRC's in the first 6 episodes with me. We've got those done, starting them on Friday, going all the way to Christmas.
All right.
Hey, Bobby, do you ever call him Dirty Dick Rick?
Oh, we call him Filthy Rick. Filthy Rick is his nickname. We start calling him Filthy Rick, dude. It's so funny. He's
I
like,
call him Dirty
don't
Dick
call me
Rick.
that. Of course, as soon as he said, don't call me that, that's all it called.
Look,
And now we
well,
all
I mean,
know about it on the internet. So we're gonna just comment on his videos. What's up, Dirty Filthy Rick?
I mean, look,
What's up, Filthy Rick?
Dick is the nickname for Richard, so you could
Yes.
call him
Yeah.
Dirty Dick
Yeah,
Rick.
yeah. See,
There
I
you
hadn't gone there yet, so now there we go. Here we go. You're welcome.
Nice.
And Piper John makes a great point there in the comments. Yeah, it actually will be on Mash Metal Nut Whiskey Wars, the stream. Should you want to
Okay,
attend the Jay-Z shitting on / greatest rappers alive or dead?
Wait, Jay-Z was shitting on rappers? What? I thought it was just like a.
I mean, probably.
Like,
More than
are we
likely,
literally?
but-
I can see him literally
Allegedly.
doing that.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what do you got going on?
Figuratively.
I've got. Well, first of all, by the way, Tora Podol had asked to put all of our Patreon links in the chat, and Piper John went ahead and did that. So, Piper John, thank you for putting all
Thank
of
you,
our
Piper
Patreon
John.
links in there, and thank you for asking Tora Podol. So, tomorrow I've got. I hate doing I never do like an end of the year top 5 or top 10 because it's just I don't know. Every time I think about doing it, it's kind of too late in the year and it sounds exhausting and it's just so I just did like a condensed list where I did 6 categories, just top 1 bottle in each category for the year. You're all tagged in that. Sean, I didn't tag you because I know you're not really doing edited content now. But if you want to, do that in a live stream or something, so that comes out tomorrow. I've got a live stream probably planned for next Wednesday. I should be going live at my regular time. Probably going to have a guest that night. I met them in person this last weekend at a whiskey raffle here. They're another Minnesota channel, so I'll confirm with them, but tentatively I think they might be on. So hopefully I have a guest next week. And then I've got some batch versus barrel episodes that are going to come up where I pin a single barrel version against the batch version of a whiskey brand and see which one comes out on top. So it's just be a bunch of stuff like that.
Right. Right on.
Awesome.
Okay. And bourbon.
And by the way,
yes.
oh sorry,
No, go ahead.
I was going to say if anybody's watching this and is not subscribed, I am trying to hit 4K by New Year's Day. So
Oh, come on.
I think I'm
let's go.
I got
Let's do it.
65 more to go.
Right on.
think
Let's
you have
get
all-
Ben there. Let's get Ben to 4K
do
before the new year. Awesome. That's great.
Ben, I'll subscribe. I've got 65 other channels. I'll subscribe.
You know what's funny, Myron? Since you said that, I think it was your channel. So I have my Bourbon Note channel, but then I have my Bourbon Note Ben. you'll probably usually notice if I comment or something, it's from Bourbon Oak Ben. That's because that's the one that I have the YouTube Premium on that doesn't have any, ads or anything like that.
Commercials,
And so most of the time, so all my subscriptions are Bourbon Note Ben, but I try to remember to subscribe from the Bourbon Note as well. And I think from the Bourbon Note, you can see when I subscribe to your channel. It's like a public, you can see the Bourbon Note is subscribed to your channel. And so I went to a couple of your channels because I started thinking about the other day. I was like, am I subscribed to everybody, like all my friends from both channels? And I realized I wasn't. And so I went through and started subscribing to you guys' channels from the Bourbon Note. So if you notice the Bourbon Note becoming a subscriber, that's just a bonus subscriber.
That son of a bitch didn't subscribe for 2 years?
Yeah.
What the hell?
He's just subscribing now. He's been commenting on my videos for 2 years and he hasn't subbed.
That was one hell of a late reach around, Ben.
Yeah. So it was just I'm subscribed through Bourbon Note Ben to everybody, but I sometimes forget to go do it for both channels. So,
well, I'm going to pay it forward, Ben. I'm going to make sure all my channels are subscribed. Look at that. The Master Metal is not. There you go. You got one more.
All right.
Nice. And thank you, Piper John, for throwing the link down there.
If anybody has an extra channel, we're at 2129, and I'd love to get to 2130 and get that little plus 10 on Social Blade. So.
Just got you another one from my Bad Axe Reacts channel, man.
Boom! There it is.
Dude,
there we go. I'm getting.
By the time you got 5 minutes on left of this show, you're going to be there.
All right.
Yeah, no kidding.
So Bourbon School, we're doing Christmas all month. We did it last year. We're doing it again this year. Wintry and Christmassy themed bottles. We did a Christmas cocktail today. People hate cocktail videos, but we love them, so we're going to keep doing them. And we're going to do a little, like some great bourbon-related Christmas gifts coming up. Yeah, and we did, the girls did Evan Williams white chocolate peppermint eggnog, and Marianne is making, spoiler alert, Marianne's making the gagging face right now. So that's kind of a sneak preview of what that video is going to be like. Hoping to do a live stream in the next couple of weeks. We'll see. Maybe over Christmas break we'll do one. We kind of have a really regular live stream. Yeah, a regular live stream schedule. But we also just had this come out at a local shop. If you are local to Western New York, especially south of Buffalo, this is our Old Soul single barrel pick. It is 121.63 proof, and it is absolutely delicious. And if anybody wants a hand delivery, hit me up, and we can take care of that too.
I'm hitting you up.
Wait, where did Whiskey Wars go?
Why did he go? I didn't do it.
Wait.
No.
Wait.
It was.
there we go.
Well, okay.
Okay,
Up.
stop.
I can go, guys. I'm at work. I can go.
I've created chaos. No, I was trying to close a tab because I opened a bunch of tabs to subscribe.
Oh, okay.
And I closed the wrong tab. Actually, it was the white chocolate talk. White chocolate's the worst.
All right. So before we take off, a couple of things to everybody watching and everybody who has subscribed to this channel. Thank you. This has been a great year. We've had a lot of fun doing this. I think I'm speaking for everybody when I say we've had a lot of fun doing this.
Yeah.
I'm having a blast. I know these guys are having a blast. So thank you all for tuning in, subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And that not just doesn't go for the Whiskey Six, but for all the channels that are here represented on the screen. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. Gentlemen, I just want to wish you and all the people in the chat and all of our viewers happy holidays. Sean, happy winter.
No, I don't celebrate anything. So.
Happy winter solstice for Sean.
Happy pagan religious celebrations.
There it is. It's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure sharing the stream with you guys for the past year. I'm looking forward to another great year. We will see you all in January in the new year. And we appreciate you all. And until then, guys, cheers and thank you all.
Cheers, y'all.
Cheers, everybody.